Oh, yeah. Well, according to the clock on my computer, it says it is 9 a.m. Happy Tuesday morning, everybody at the Bass Channel. Welcome. This is Alex63501, welcoming you to another episode of Wake and Bass, the show where we wake up, we talk about album reviews, and every episode we do less and less bass playing. But that's totally fine because we're having a good time exploring the great, amazing Japanese catalog of the late 70s, early mid 80s, late 80s, early 90s. Pretty much just in the Japanese field right now. But we're having a good time, and today, and spoiler alert, a lot of this week, we're going to be talking about a much requested character and somebody that I've wanted to do a little more exploring in and about for a long time, Masayoshi Takanaka. That's a mouthful of syllables in the morning. Unbelievably cool guitarist, composer, arranger, musician, character in the city pop era. We've been talking so far about people like Tatsuro Yamashita, how he was one of the big pivotal characters, orchestrators of a lot of these sounds of city pop. Last week we did Fujimon, and we were talking about the ABs and how he was playing, and all these different connections with all our different bass players and our percussionists and all this kind of stuff. And today with Takanaka, once again, we have another figure who's very similar to that. But before we get into this too much today, first of all, I just want to say thank you all so much for all the awesome support you guys have been showing me, all the love with the videos and the Wake and Bass and all this kind of stuff. I was bummed that on Sunday night I couldn't do the night jams. I wanted to do some playing for you, but I had another concert going on. And I was just really tired. But there will be more things like that coming on, and please keep your suggestions coming with songs. I'm working through them. I've got a lot in the works, but I could always have a bigger list. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any ideas for topics or different discussion points, all that kind of good stuff. I'm always open ears, and I'm happy to do it. Okay, what is up, Dave? Oh yeah, Goblin. I don't know if we're going to get to Goblin today. Now, you see that? Let's jump right in here. Let's go ahead and pop up our window so we can see who we're talking about. Masayoshi Takanaka. So this is a guy who started really kicking it in the early 70s. Yeah, 70, even before that. Looks like, 69, 68 when he was in high school, because I was reading some of his Wikipedia earlier, his Japanese Wikipedia over here. He's been playing for a long time. He started off in a prog band called Fried Egg. Not Fried Egg, Fried Egg. Anyway, then after that, he joined this group called Sadistic Mika Band, which I was reading about. It sounded interesting group, but it was revolved or is kind of run by a husband and wife duo. The singer and I think it was the percussionist. But apparently they fought all the time and had all sorts of problems, and they got divorced. And then when they divorced, the band split up, and Takanaka was just like, "You guys come here." And he just snatched everybody up. So this first album, which is what we're going to listen to today, which is, I can only imagine that this is Seashells, but just to please all of my wonderful international French viewers, Seychelles. Yeah. First studio album. This came out in 1976. So he had played with Sadistic Mika Band for 4 or 5 years. Let's just pop in for a second. See how many albums they had. So they started in 73, and then they were done in 75. Or that's when the breakup occurred. And then I think he kept the band together, or maybe it was a reunion. I'm not sure. There's a little bit of gap here from 75 to 89, 14 years. But yeah, anyway, that is how this band originally formed, is from the dissolving of another band, like so many things do. And after this first album, Seashells, he then releases An Insatiable High, which is my first experience ever listening to Takanaka. And this is a awesome jazz album. It is just so fun, really, really cool. And then if we refer to our giant city pop chart that's so awesomely made by the Discord, city pop Discord server, they chose that album, An Insatiable High, as one of the best representations of him, because it was hard, as always with that chart. You can only pick one, maximum two, of one artist to not super saturate it. But yeah, Takanaka, self-titled album from '77. That's a cool one. That's got some cool tracks on it. Rainbow Goblins. Oh, come on, Rainbow Goblins. Oh, that album. I can't wait to talk about that one. And then there's different versions of it. We got a live version that I'm definitely interested in checking out. There's, I think White Goblin comes out. Yeah, there you go. White Goblin comes out in '97. There's all these different things. And one of the things that I do want to do later today, this a jump into the future, that is a memorandum to a very beloved musician who has recently passed, who is not only one of my favorite, or somebody that I listened to as a kid that I really, really liked. It is not only my mom, she likes this artist, but my mom's dad, my grandpa. This goes back 3 generations of digging on, and that's Little Richard. So we're going to get to that later. We're going to save it because Little Richard and Takanaka record, and it's actually the last time that Little Richard recorded new music. I think it was 95 or 97, something like that. We're going to look at that at the end. It's cool, though. It's cool. But anyway, going back to Takanaka and just getting into where he came from and kind of a character setting up who he is. Played guitar for a long time. Started off in high school as I was reading his Wikipedia page. He was a good student, but he just was obsessed with guitar. But he was a huge showboat. He loved all the showmanship stuff. And one of the stories I read was when he was doing a high school dance, it was like an April Fool's joke or something. He pretended they're like their band that he had formed in high school went up to play, and they pretended like they didn't have a guitarist, or that their guitarist had some problem or like left or something. And so they're like, is anybody in the audience? Can anybody play guitar? And Takanaka was like, yo. And then goes up and shreds the whole concert and faked everybody out. And apparently it was a good enough story that he put it on his own Wikipedia. So anyway, but this is the kind of character he is. And now that we're going to switch to the old research view. Hello, camera 2. We are going to look at another thing that makes him interesting, which is his very flamboyant, not only personality, but sense of style, which I gotta say, boy's got good style. So let's start by talking about his instruments. Because his instruments, so we've already seen somebody like in Cassiopeia, I think his name is Isiro. I'm sorry, guitarist from Cassiopeia. He has a custom Yamaha guitar that looks like an SG. Well, this is the same thing, and this is the same kind of model, which is called the SG-2000. Well, this particular one, but Yamaha made it. For those of you who don't know, SGs were originally a Gibson guitar style. And I don't have my guitar out here, but I have a knockoff version of that. It's a Dillion, but it's an SG model. That's what this is. But what Takanaka would do is he would make all these really cool custom guitars. And so here is that same one. And again, this is the same guitar that the Cassiopeia guitarist uses. And he's got his all the letters of his name popping up, Takanaka, and he's got these little, palm beaches and stuff. And it's cool. But then you start thinking like, and then I see this. I was like, whoa, what is that? Hold on. And this thing, I'm almost positive that's Cassiopeia right there. Like that's him. That's the guitarist, because that's the different variant right there in his hands of that SG, of the Yamaha style guitar. These guys all played Yamahas, which is crazy. I was looking through, do I have the list up here? No, I think I closed it out already. No, here it is. Yeah, the Yamaha SG. And I was just reading all these different iterations of this guitar. And you start looking through the musicians that use it, like John Frusciante. I had no idea that he, because he uses a Stratocaster all the time, but he apparently switched out to this SG-2000. Isirinoro, there he is, Cassiopeia. Okay, sorry, I said his name totally wrong. But yeah, lots of these guys. And so now it makes me, want to have money and have a toy that I can't play. But on top of that, check this thing out. It's a surfboard. He made a surfboard guitar. I've looked up weird guitars online many times because I've always wanted to buy one. And later I'll show you. I've got a thing called a didgeridoo, which I do not have a didgeridoo. A diddly bow. I cannot talk. It's a little homemade guitar. I'll show it to you later, but it looks like a goose. It's very, very cool. You know what? I'm just gonna do it now. You guys are hostage. You gotta wait. I'm gonna come back. All the viewers are gonna be around. People are like, Alex, why are you talking about a goose guitar? You'll see. Oh yeah, look at my goose guitar. Yeah, so there's a guy in Missouri, side story, who builds these things, and it works to a degree. I said to a degree. But he took an old phone and he popped it in there. It's an old, like an old telephone. Wired it in, plug it in. Got to be careful with the amp so you don't deafen yourself, but swan guitar. Anyway, this is the kind of stuff that Takanaka was doing in a really good, high-produced way. So he's got these sweet surfboard guitars. He's got, all sorts of custom stuff. This thing's pretty sweet. The rainbow guitar, rainbow goblin guitar, when he did that. I think there's some pictures somewhere of him playing that live show. But the last thing I wanted to show you that I thought was cool when I was doing my search, somebody found in 2007, an instrument came in for maintenance, and it ended up being the guitar that was custom made for Takanaka for the album Blue Lagoon. And I was just reading through this real quick. Not only is it totally original, like Takanaka signed it, it's got all the parts, all the pieces, everything. It still had the original strings. Like, I'm sure they're dead as hell trash now, but like, that's crazy that somebody just took the guitar from this album, Takanaka, and was like, okay, I'm done. Put it in the case. But it's really cool because it has all the pieces and the guy put it together. And then at the end, he's got a Takanaka speaker cab, and it's just like, oh, that's so cool. It's so cool. Okay, well, spend a little bit of time here getting into some background of Takanaka, but let's go ahead and pop in here to the chat, see what's going on with everybody here. What's happening? Morning Chains. Good to see y'all here. Ooh, Silva, we got some new people in the crowd. All right. The concert for... Oh, yes. Somebody was telling me that. Zal was telling me that as well. Thank you, Trinare. The Rainbow Goblins concert is live on YouTube. We might have to do that. We'll look at the album when we get there, but we might have to just watch the live show because that'll be cool. All right, well, let's hop in here and let's look at this first album from Takanaka. So again, doing a little recap for y'all who are just joining us, we are talking about, I can't even say his name right, Masayoshi Takanaka. This is his first solo album, studio album, but it is with the members of his previous band called Sadistic Mika Band, which if we're looking at this whole crew, it was, I'm not sure who is who here, but it was the main singer lady, and then I want to say it was the percussionist, were married, and then they got divorced, split up the band. Takanaka grabbed the rest of them, and let's just look here and see exactly who that was. So we've got the bass player, Tsugoshi Goto. So he is right there. He's playing bass with us. So percussion, let's check that out. Drums, Takahashi. Yeah, I think that is our new person, is the new drum player. Guitars and vocals, we have Kato. Let's see if we still have Kato over here. I'm not seeing him. Takanaka, of course, still have that. Still have him. Yeah, Mika's gone. Ooh, Hiroshi Imai. Hiroshi Imai is right here, brings the keyboards. Anyway, you get the idea. That's where we are. It is 1971 at this point. Or I'm sorry, it is 1976 at this point. And yeah, we're going to listen to the first track off his solo album, O Tengo Surete, off of Seashells. Okay, getting some nice spacey intro here. Very peaceful. I dig it. I like that phaser. Or like a compression delay? No, what would you call that? I think you'd call that a phaser. Oh, yeah. There's those keys. Oh, we got the Hammond organ. Okay, Takanaka starting off strong. It's a cool song here. Okay, now here's an interesting point from Rainbow Goblin, which is the album I am most familiar with. It was very high concept, you know, big flow through the whole album, that whole thing, and the singing, at least in his second album, was a lot more sporadic. So I'm interested to hear what kind of vocals we have in this album, if any. Oh, we do have vocals. Tan Tan. Well, let's turn it up a little bit. Let's listen to see who Tan Tan is. And this album is loud. Sorry guys if I was blasting you out. I was deafening myself over here. Good morning, Desi. What is cracking? Good to see you. Okay, let's try that again here. What? Hey, you got me, Takanaka. I did not expect female Spanish. Very cool. All right, almost done here. We'll pause here for a second on this track. Very interesting first track here. So we are we're definitely establishing kind of a beach feel. I'm trying to think of what this, I'm getting a little bit of vibes of George Benson. What's the, Breezin'. Yeah. Ba-da-na-na-na-na-na-da. We're going to do a little bit of that here for a second while I'm looking that up. But yeah, very, very chill. The vocals that we had here, Tan Tan is the only, I guess that's what we got here. Singing in Spanish? Somebody else in the chat. You guys are way smarter than me. I'm sure somebody knows exactly what that is. Somebody already said this was the Spanish. Yeah. Silva, you were saying that the title is Spanish, so that must be Seashells is how you say it. I guess the language totally wrong. But yeah, very, very cool. Now, let's listen here real quick to George Benson, Breezin'. This is a heavily mega sampled song. This is a song you may have heard this intro before the yaka daka daka daka. We'll just listen to a little bit here. Yeah, we gotta wait for the intro. It's just that good. Oh, here we go. So we're getting this kind of feel here, but as we go in here, I want you to hear the ba-da ba-da ba-da. Yeah, here we go. That kind of stuff, that's what I'm hearing here. Getting kind of the same vibe here. Let's look at when George Benson came out with this. Is it gonna hook me up? Might have to just type that in. George Benson Breezin' year. Let's check it out. The same year. Oh yeah. I don't like to toot my own horn, but I do like it when something lines up. 1976. The same ding dong year. This is what I've been talking about. So we postulated a couple weeks ago that when these city pop guys, especially Tatsuro, in the late 70s, went over to New York and recorded a whole bunch of stuff there. Or he recorded his second or third album, something like that, and then came back to Japan and had just a whole new, not completely different, but a refined approach, and had pulled other elements from people like Niles Rodgers and disco, and coming through all these kinds of things. Now, Takanaka, this is the same kind of thing George Benson is doing. So we got that connection too. Did they meet each other at this point? I don't think so. I don't think that they were super. Takanaka would not have been mega well known at this time, and George Benson would have been very well known. So it's more likely that he just heard an album and picked up on this, because Breezin' is George Benson. Let's look. George Benson Discogs. I bet he started probably in the late 60s, and he's got 25 albums. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. 300 releases, 62 albums. Oh my goodness. Started in 1964. So yeah, he was well known by that point in time. So Takanaka taking an interesting route so far. I like it. I like this new, because again, when we're talking about city pop, that is huge genre, and it's more talking about an era. So this is definitely more jazz fusion, jazz rock. Now, I want to read more about this Tan person, whoever this is. Also, Chains brought up, sorry to split points so quickly, a very good point, which is the bassist here that we're listening to today, Goto. Let's pop in with him for 1 second. He was the bassist on, scroll down, click on the right thing, an album that we looked at earlier by Taiko Onuki. Her debut album, I can't remember the name, Sunshower. There we go, right there. Pa, 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 pa. And look at all these wonderful other things that he has played on top of a lot of Takanaka stuff. He has also got, let's scroll down here a little bit more, see if something immediately pops out. Maria Takeuchi, her first album. We're still, look at this is still 70s. All of this is 70s. So once we get to the late 70s, early 80s, okay, now we've got Henri in here. Oh, look at that. Katamatsu. Oh, surprise, surprise. Oh, Watanabe. Two bass players teaming up. The best performance. You see, they knew what they were doing. They titled it right. Okay, let's go back and let's keep trucking through, because it's 9:22 and we've done one track. So let's go ahead and let's see what's coming up next here for us. So first track was O Tengo Suerte. Second track is Dear Google Translate, help me. Translate. Oh, Seychelles is an island off the east coast of Africa. Thank you very much for that information. That is very, very good information. I'm going to look that up while we're listening to the song. Oh no. Enter the text. Tokyo Reggie. I like that name. You know, I probably could have just looked on the YouTube thing, because I see it now. We have fun here. Oh yeah. Morning, Panda. What's going on? It's a good time to join in. This is a funky track. Whew. Cool second track here. Definitely fitting into this vibe of the first track. And also, I'm getting edumacated by the chat. Thank you so much here, Trinare. Seychelles is an island off the east coast of Africa, Alex. And yeah, beautiful. And apparently it sounds like, looks like a more expensive version of Bali is what Randomly Generated is saying here. So, yeah, but looks cool. And now that we see this, that's tying in a little bit more with this beach theme. I'm realizing now I wasn't looking too close at this album title, or album cover. It's a lot of seagulls. Or birds. Definitely birds, maybe not seagulls. But yeah, I think we've got a beach vibe going, guys. I think we can safely say that that is the feel here. Okay, so looking back here at Tan Tan, that was a trumpet player. And lots and lots of credits all over the place here. And if we're looking through, I wonder if we look at Tan Tan, this guy right here, if we look at instrumental performances, if we can find him playing trumpet on something else that we know. See if we can get a good connection there. Oh, is that? Oh, I thought the first one was George Benson, and I was going to be like, yeah. Okay. Just doing a quick look through here. Seeing if anything just pops out. Not seeing anything immediately, but interesting. Well, that still doesn't answer our question of who was the lady singing in the first track. Invest Now, Exotic Birds. Can we get, that's lead vocals, backup vocals? Okay. Well, anyway, with this track, okay. I mean, we're getting some good solos. The mixing is sounding good. It's a little bit on the thinner side for me personally, but that is because I really liked that 1980s, 90s sound where it was more about the bass and they filled that in a little bit more. And so it's not really a fair thing to say, because if you listen to this, I still think this is excellently mixed. Let's just listen to a little bit to how everything is blended in here. Yeah, we got all that. I mean, I'm being too harsh here. I just have listened to later Takanaka and I know how good it gets, and I'm just getting excited for it. This still sounds great. We've got all the different elements we've talked about in there. We had 2 layers of percussion. We had our drums, and then we had our bongos. And I think my homeboy's here. He is Nobu Saito, percussion master. For those of you who have not seen me muse upon this cat, even though he only has 1 solo album, which is pretty good for bongos, this dude is all over the place. Like everybody we've talked about. Yoshino Fujima, Maria Takeuchi, Tatsuro, everybody. He has played on everybody's albums, hitting them bongos. Super hot. Taiko Inuki, there we go. But yeah, we've got those 2 layers. Bass is chilling out with the drums, doing those same kind of hits. We've got that disco guitar in the background. But for me, the bass, you know, I want a little more low, a little less mid, a little more high. I like that pop and slap sound, if you couldn't tell. But it's a really, really good mix. It's well done. Let's see here, our engineer, Akio Ito. This is going to be a cat that does several albums for Takanaka, goes through, does other things. Let's see if we can find technical. Well, I guess he didn't work on it as much as I thought he did. Let's see if it's the other producer. While we're doing this, I'm not going to have you guys just listen to me ramble. Let's go ahead and go to the 3rd track here. So now we're on Shinkiro no Shima. 3rd track, side A. Let's see what it sounds like. That intro, I think it was in 5 Panda Man from the last song. I love that electronic keyboard sound. Tasty. Just chill. Okay, Let's see who the chorus is. This is an interesting beat. Animal Crossing vibe. I 100% feel that. Here we go. We'll just keep that in the background, and then I'm just gonna go start digging on my plants. Give me shells. Who is singing? This is bugging me. Who is this? Okay, this is a cool song, but now we're starting to taste a little bit of the jazz fusion, or what do they call it here? Yeah, jazz fusion, jazz funk soul. Okay, yeah, because this beat is odd. It is very because it kicks you off because the guitar is doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the drums are doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's weird. Let's listen to it one more time where it comes in. It's an odd one. Cool, but weird. Here we go. Oh, let me get you some volume. Two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. But I want to be like 1 and 2 and. I don't know what I want. I just didn't expect that. But it's cool. It's super cool. I'm gonna lose my mind though if I don't figure out who is singing on this album. It's driving me crazy. Yeah, mellow beach vibes all day long. I went to Seaside restaurant. I would chill to this, like eating some. What would I eat to this? Pasta? This is pasta eating music. Ooh, okay. I like this rising up by a half step, and then at the end, it just finishes like bum, bum, bum. Very chill. This is fun. It's good. A barrel of shrimp. Oh, Desi. That's a dad joke on my level that I can appreciate. Okay, let's keep going here. So now we're getting to, I lost my good A-side, B-side find. No. Yes. Here we go. All right, last track of the first side, for those of you joining us, Masayoshi Takanaka, a very important guitarist and figure in our city pop history. And this is his first album. So far, very jazzy, very fusiony, much wow. Let's listen to the last track here. It's called Akogare no Seashells Shoto. I'm going to go to Google to help me figure out what that means. Let's listen. Ooh. Getting a 1986 vibe in 1976. I like that. Ooh. Uh-oh. Ooh. Ah, the bass players showed up. there's those keys, baby. Oh, okay, now we're getting... All right, now we're getting a little bit of Billy Preston in here. Oh yeah, Billy Preston, phenomenal keyboardist from, I think he started in the early 60s. Yeah. Oh. That rhythm. And it's going against the da-dun, 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 da-dun. Okay, cool. So these guys are all clearly top-notch musicians. Everybody we've been talking about is top-notch musicians. I think you could maybe argue one of the albums we looked at was just kind of like, but really, they're all good. But these guys, man, really are playing with interesting compositional techniques. Again, putting on the music nerd hat, who's studied this stuff. You have, I'm gonna pause this for a second. You got a whole slew of things that you're considering when you're writing. Some of the bigger ones are, at least in this context, you want to think of what your texture is, how many instruments you're going to have going at once, how many things are going to be happening at the same time, timbre, what it sounds like as far as, is it going to be real trebly, real bassy, reverberant, very dry, and then you've got mix, how those things all interplay with each other and how the frequencies all move around. There's so many more things than that. But when we're talking about studio albums, those are three things that you really have to consider after you've written all your music. An extra layer of this, going into the composition part, he's doing all these interesting polyrhythm things, where our drums are doing this 4, and we're doing this weird swing rhythm with the guitar. Bum, da-dum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Even going 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's listen. It's cool. That's maybe. Here we go. There it is. There it is. Is he the first person to ever do 6 against 4? Yes. No, absolutely not. But it's interesting because many times in this album so far, we've been faked out as far as what we were expecting to happen and him doing his own thing, which is fun. That's what we try to do in music, is you play with expectations. That was like the basis of, late classical period kind of stuff. Playing with expectations, that brought us into the Romantic period when people had finally moved through that whole genre of music and they're like, okay, we want something more. But that was one of the things. Playing with expectations builds tension, or in this case, builds chill beats. Let's see if there's something that has this is a long track. Let's go a little bit further in here, see what it sounds like, and then we'll flip it over to side B. Okay. Sounds like it's pretty much chill song, but it sounds like we got the same thing going on. Now, I want Master of Owl to be hero of the day. Because they figured out who the person singing is. Aliases. So it was this person. So it was, he's saying, Taniguchi Taiko, a woman playing the trumpet. Which is like, yes, show me who this person is. Oh, it died in 1998. Oh. Sad. This is like that Michael Scott moment where he finds the chair model and it's, they died. Sad. Well, mystery solved. Moving on. So that's side A of Masayoshi Takanaka's first album. I'm just going to segue like that didn't happen. Now we're going to go to the second side, which I'm very excited about just because when I was looking this morning, I saw Funky Machan, which I feel like was the original name for the Pokemon Machamp and Machoke, just Funky Machan. And Nintendo was like, that's just too cool. Sorry. All right. Yeah, F in chat. Thank you, Sal. All right. So, first track is side B. Side A, absolute beach rock. Very, very good flow. Felt good. I liked that bass in the last one. That was really starting to open up. Let's listen to Funky Machan. Here we go. Yes. Oh, I'm not disappointed. Oh, I'm not disappointed. Okay, there we go. Another nugget of goodness from Trinare. Takanaka apparently has covered George Benson's Breezin'. Boom, right there. There's the connection. Awesome. Thank you for that info, Trinare. Thanks, Al. Owl. And Zal. Oh, yeah, man. Oh. Sorry to pause it. Man, this is cool. Listen to that. The shaker that goes, chicka. That's a nice spice on top. But I love, like, we got this guitar and we got the bass going at the same time. We've seen that in other albums, but this is earlier. So, this idea, even earlier now, we've heard, have an example of it. Let's listen to that again. Oh, that's so cool. So cool. Man. Oh. Man. Okay, this is awesome. This is right up my alley. Oh. Can't turn it down yet. What's up, Poppy? Oh no, I clicked on the wrong thing. Oh, well, we're gonna have to use this time to stop anyway. Oh, this is so funky. Poppy D, exactly right. That is a sped up version of Sly. I wanna thank you for letting me be myself again. Let's listen to the intro of this, and then I'm gonna open that up so we can hear Sly, because that's just. Okay. I wanna thank you for letting me be myself again. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Another good Mama McCamey connection here. Has that original album. It's very tasty. Okay, now, year. Let's look it up. 1970. Okay, so just a few years before. Good connection. Poppy D called it. Okay, this is just my kind of funk. My goodness. Cassiopeia guitars. This is the kind of music as, like, if you're a jam band musician, or if you play in bars or whatever, like I had a small stint in a show band like that. These kinds of songs are, like, that is what I live for, is stuff like that, because, yeah, it's pretty fun to listen to, and people are like, yeah, that's funky. It is so fun to play. Because you just never stop. And, like, if you're playing guitar, it's just never stop funking. You're just moving all the time, popping in and out. If you're playing bass, just funking. It's just funking. It's just good. It's just getting down. Zal's got it. Okay, let's keep moving. We got 15 minutes for 3 songs. All right, so first side of our album, very, very smooth. Lots of interesting, arranging, composition-y things. Excellent musicians. Very sparse lyrics. Very, I don't know. I'm not going to go album-oriented rock yet. I'm definitely not going to say adult-oriented rock because I don't want to put it really in that box. I'm just going to call it Takanaka. But let's listen to this next track, which is called Sayonara Fuji-san, which I don't think I need to look up. I think that just means goodbye, Mr. Fuji. We'll find out. Oh, okay. Who invited Carlos Santana? George Santana. I bet he... I'm gonna look it up. I bet Takanaka has played with Santana. I don't know that, but let's look. I'm gonna guess. Ooh, good bass. Look what I found, guys. Look what I found. Is George... No way. Is it Jorge Santana? George Santana? No way. That's crazy.
Thank you very much.
Oh, man, that audio is poo-poo. Dude, they totally stole the Thundercats logo. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like totally in shock right now. Well, I thought I was going to get stuff done today. Clearly not. All right, we got to keep going because I want to hit this little Richard thing at the end. So let's listen a little more. Just turn this down a little bit here. We're listening again to Goodbye, Mr. Fuji, our little Carlos Santana style song here. And we've got 2 more left. The last one, I know Zal's going to be excited for, Tropic Burbs. But before that, let's see what we got here. More birds. Bird Island Express. Okay, well, even if I am not comfortable calling it album-oriented rock yet, we definitely have a good theme of both sea and birds, which was promised in the cover. So good job, Takanaka. You definitely fulfilled all the things. Bird Island Kyuko. Why would you translate Bird Island and then not Express? You're trying to confuse me, YouTube. Ooh, okay. Now, I made a comment earlier about recording quality and engineering, and I'm taking it all back. Because these drums right here, listen to these. This is good drum sound. Let me get the volume just right for y'all. Just right. Thank you, Dave. It was not Goodbye, Mr. Fuji. It was Goodbye, Mountain Fuji. We're referencing the mountain. Good point. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I did not see this coming. This is what I saw coming. Okay, we got a shuffle, and and then we're going into it. Okay, I like that. I'm not a huge fan of the shuffle beat, but man, when it opens up into the double, that, you know, disco funk break, that's my jam. Oh, uh-oh, we're starting to get a little Rainbow Goblin. Bird Island Express. Whoa. First city pop stop ever, 1976. There we go. This is a cool song. Okay, Takanaka starting to show his prog rock true colors. Rainbow Goblin is soon to come. Let's see, this is 1976. I think Rainbow Goblin is 81. Let's just double check though. Yep, Rainbow Goblins, sorry, is 81. So Seashells, from Seashells to Insatiable High, our next album. Not a huge difference, but a difference. We don't have the beach vibe as much anymore. Then I have not heard Takanaka yet. I'm excited. I hear this is one of the ones that really opens up then again, and that's the same year. So 2 different albums in the same year as far as, you know, feel for it. I'm excited. Takanaka week is going to be good. Okay, let's finish up this album here. So we've had some really cool connections, some very interesting things, excellent information from the chat here. So let's just recap real fast. Seychelles, we are talking about a island off the coast of Africa, like a resort island type thing. We've got a theme of the sea. We've got a theme of birds. We've got the first side was it was very unified in our chill beats. We had very similar BPM, you know, same tempo, same instrumentations, very sparse lyrics, and just kind of chill guitar riffs. But this second side is getting funky on us. And let's see what our last track, Tropic Birds, let's see what this has for us. Ooh, and this is a long one too. You got to make the chart, Zal. We'll start filling it in with our city pop stops. Okay. Oh. If I had my bass right now. I can't play that well. This is cool. I hate to do this. I hate to do this. We gotta fast forward. Zal, you're exactly right. This is gonna be building in layers, I can tell. Let's see where we are in the middle. Oh man, we're full prog. This is some ELP, baby. Oh, this is yes. Who else? Zal, hit me up with some more prog in the chat. Oh man, this is cool. Yep, you can hear it. Where did the strings come from? Okay, very cool. I hate to cut that one short because that's just so cool. But I have a feeling all of us are gonna go listen to that. If you guys haven't already left the room now, like, what's this nerd doing? Play it out. But I want to wrap this up and do a little bit of the Little Richard here at the end because it's pretty fun. But 1976, we've got Takanaka hitting the scene here with his first studio album. This is really the first big substantial part you can track forward. You could argue that the what's it called, Sadistic Mika band with Sadistic Mika in there, as being one of the earliest successful groups that did continue on after that. And it really is, as we discussed earlier, it's a lot of the same members. We took 3 or 4 out of the 7, or no, 3 out of the 6. Yeah, 3 out of the 6 people that were in Sadistic Mika band ended up joining Takanaka. Most noticeably, we had the bass player, we have the the keyboard player, we had Nobu Saito, my percussionist homeboy, and yeah, as we go through with his collection here, we're going to see a pretty different change. But what I want to do this week is I want to dive in pretty good in some of the meaty early stuff. We're going to check out Insatiable High tomorrow. Then we're going to do Takanaka, the self-titled one, on Thursday. And then on Friday, I'm going to let you guys decide, because with Rainbow Goblin, which we have to do, there is no question, we're either going to do Rainbow Goblins, the album, proper album, or we're going to do the live show. And you guys have already made me aware that the live version doesn't have all the songs, so if we need to go supplement, we can. But you guys let me know in the chat you think about it, and then we can hit some Rainbow Goblins action here on Friday. Now, last thing I want to do, because there is so much Takanaka and there's so many cool collaborations, I want to touch on at the end one cool thing that he has done with all these other artists. And so the one I want to talk about today is Little Richard. So I mentioned earlier, my mom and my grandpa were super into Little Richard. My grandpa loved Tutti Frutti. He just thought that was the greatest song ever. And this album right here with Little Richard and Takanaka, I love this picture of Little Richard. Let me think. I think this is, when is this, 1992? When was this recorded? Yeah, this is recorded in 1992. And that look on his face is the same look he had in 1959 or 1960, whenever. Let's see when he wrote this song originally. Good Golly, Miss Molly. He's 1932. Yeah, man, effing Chad. He died 3 weeks ago. Oh, he was so awesome. But initial success and convert. Yeah, Long Tall Sally, 1956. 1956, man. And then he recorded it again 30 years later. Just looking awesome. Let's listen to a little bit of this before we're done for the day. Takanaka shredding on guitar. Okay. He's 60 years old when he sang this right here. 60. Blasted. So good. All right, let's jump into the guitar solo. Yeah. Oh yeah, I could do that all day. Very cool though. Takanaka hitting it up with one of the legends, Little Richard. We've seen so many cool connections with him today. We saw that connection with Santana. We're going to see that connection with Cassiopeia. Connection with we've got Noble Saito, our percussionist, all these people tying in. So much fun. Okay, well, let's see here. 9:59. All right, right under time. I like it. And my camera, the battery hasn't died yet. Everything is working today. Okay. Well, thank you all again for coming out and hanging out here at the Bass channel. Hope you had a good time. If you did, I would really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Let your friends know. Come hang out. Give us some more information. I love hanging out with you guys. You give me so much good info. All the chat stuff is just fantastic. I'm learning a ton. I hope you guys are getting stuff too. And again, hit me up with feedback. I've had so many people coming up to me in the last couple of weeks, sending me messages about how to improve my tabs or my videos, sending me, citypop Dave has been sending me all these really dope screenshots of all of his inserts of his record collection so that I can go through and try to find more info for you guys. You guys are just awesome, and it really, really helps me out. So if you have a suggestion or anything, just let me know. Be like, hey, Alex, you should try this out. I'll try it out. I will. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Maybe listen to a little more Takanaka. And I will hit you all up tomorrow morning for Takanaka Day 2 in Seychelles High. So, you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you for hanging out. And I'll catch y'all later. In the stream.